dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, let's get original groove. I thought you said you wanted to go to the other spot.
I do.
I'm just
Yeah, focus.
It's your boy DJ Nuki, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
We're back on the channel with another
Kid and C original.
What's it done?
You done.
What's it done?
You done.
Well, welcome back to the channel, man. We got a TikTok story time for y'all, man. We're going to be bringing these back a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more often, man. We got, with this one, tell me about a time your child has told you a past life story. You're here for this one, ain't you? You're ready for it, ain't you? So we ain't going to hold y'all. I ain't going to hold y'all a little bit. Make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. Don't look at me up and down like that. You know where to go. Make sure you go check out the links down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, just lock it in with a thumbs up.
Please.
Smash the fucking like button, man. That's all. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. You ready? All right, let's check it out, y'all. Let's see what it's about.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
So when Kinley was 2 or 3, I'm pretty sure she was 2, but either way, she talked very well at a young age. She told us that she died before. And we're like, what? No, you haven't. She was like, yeah, I died before. I used to be a girl named Angelique, and then I came back to you and became Kinley. Creeped out completely. So I was like, okay, well, how did you die? And she was like, well, I was a stripper. She's 2. And a group of men stabbed me to death because I spoke out for girls that liked other girls, and they didn't like that. They hated it. So instead of just letting me be me, they killed me.
She can say all this at
She's 2. She told us where she was stabbed, and she has a birthmark right where she was stabbed. Creepy.
Tell me about...
You finna pause it. What's up? I said she said...
I know a lot of 2-year-olds that can speak well.
She finna say my niece.
I mean, she can speak well, but I know some 2-year-olds that can super speak clear. I mean, not like how we speaking, but for you to understand them at least.
Time your child's told you a past life story.
So when my son was 4 years old, he came home from school with a stack of pictures and drawings that he had created throughout the semester. And I asked about 2 specific ones, and he said, that's from when you and I were twins. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he says, you were able to be born and I wasn't, until now we can be together again. I've never told him this before, ever. But my mom was pregnant with twins and she miscarried one of them. So he drew these 2 pictures. He said, this is the baby that wasn't able to be born. Wow. And then he showed me this one. To me, this looks like somebody's pregnant. Something's going on here. And this is the baby that was born that came out of the belly. I've never talked to him about this before, but he said it like it would happen yesterday.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
Not my child, but me. When I was 2 or 3 years old, I was telling my mother a very detailed story about how I died in my previous life. I told her that I was a little Indian boy, Native American boy. My name was Halo, and I was outside playing one day. I was a little boy, and I had climbed up into a tree, and a branch snapped, and I fell, and I broke my neck, and I died. And my mommy, which I said to her, you weren't my mommy at the time, she was my mommy. She came out, and she wrapped me up in a blanket, and she was crying, and really upset as I floated away into the sky. So, again, my name was Halo, I was Native American, and I fell out of a tree and died. And she wasn't, and my mom today wasn't my mom then. Oh, and I'm terrified of heights in this life, so that carried over.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
And sometimes I'll be wondering that. I'll be like, so say for instance, you know what I'm saying? If you believe, you believe. You don't, you don't. Don't get into that in the comments.
Oh,
but,
please don't.
But I'll be wondering, maybe some people's fears comes from situations that happen. If like
If you believe.
Yeah, like come from things you had that has happened in the past life. Like some people fear flights or sky being up elevated too far is because something is triggering from past trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you never know.
I actually wrote this one down when it happened because it was so messed up. So when my son was still in daycare, he was about 3 years old, we had a shortcut that we could take that would avoid all the traffic lights. Anyway, we'd pass this park, and the park had a lot of trees, and he would call it the woods. He said he used to live in there, and that a black shadow with horns would come out of the ground. He tells us he tried to run to his mummy and daddy and tell them that an elephant thing would come and crush the car with them in it. He also said that the elephant had no bed and that he would sleep on the floor of the woods where my son slept. He used to cause such a fuss and cry every single time we went down that road, and he noticed.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
For context, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and that's where I raised my son. This one time he was about 4 or 5, and I was going on about how incredibly lucky or blessed that I felt because he was my son. To which he replied, "Yeah, I'm so lucky I got to choose you." And I said, "Choose me?" And he said, "Yeah. This one time I was with my other mother and we were walking through the forest. We found a cabin and you were inside, and I looked through the windows and I said, 'Yeah, I want her to be my next mom.' And that's how I got here." And I said, "Your other mother?" And he said, "Yeah, my other mother." And I said, "Bub, I'm your only mom." And he said, "This time around."
Wow.
I asked him to describe what the other mother looked like, and he said, "She has long white hair that touched the ground, it would drag on the ground, and that she had pale skin, white as snow skin."
Tell me about a time.
I want to do it. Freak these people out when they kids tell them that.
Tell them that.
Because I be wondering, like, even like with my sister, because my sister asked about my niece asked about the one that passed a lot. Mm-hmm. She asked about him a lot, and it just be random.
Yeah.
And she'll just be like, "What happened to him? Where's he at? Is he at home or?" Because I don't know, my sister not want to, tell him, but she always just randomly brings him up.
Right.
And I'm just like, for a 2-year-old, that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't know. But he wasn't around for a long time, But also, like, I just be wondering because she can talk. Like, she talks, she's a little grown 2-year-old. But I wonder, do she ever, like, say stuff or do she, like,
advanced, super advanced.
My sister has never, like, because sometimes, how my sister is, she probably just whatever and don't even think about it,
Your child's told you a past life story.
Ever since my son was very young, even up until now, he will pray to the volcanoes. And one time I asked him, "Well, why the volcanoes?" And he said, "In my other life before here, Mommy, I lived by the volcanoes." And he said that he would build homes, like huts. And I asked him to draw me a picture, and he drew it. And I can share that with you guys later. I'd have to dig it out. And he said that he also made tools and other things. And he didn't hunt because the women hunted. He said that my mom was there. My mom has memories of this life too. And I just found out from my grandmother recently that my mom told her a similar story when she was 3, and I just found that out. Interesting. Okay, so I did find the 2 that he drew. One is of the actual volcano and hut, and then he also drew a picture along with it where he was making ladders to build the homes. So let's see if it'll let me flip. So this is the first one that he did.
That's crazy.
And so you see, like, he's got a grass skirt and stuff. And then he did this one. And it was just, he was trying to tell me that he would make ladders and things because he started making better huts.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
So when my son was like 4 or 5, we were having dinner, and he says that he has a brother named Hyde. And we said, no, sweetie, you don't have a brother. You have a little sister. And he goes, no, I have a brother, and his name is Hyde. And I thought, that's a very old school kind of name. Where did you hear this name? He says, well, I heard it from my brother. That was my brother's name from before you were my mommy. And I said, what do you mean? Before I was your mommy. And he said, before, a long time ago, he had another family, and his brother Hyde got shot. And his other mom went and took Hyde to the hospital, but he ended up dying over there. He later said that Hyde was coming back for him so that he could visit his other mommy. Kids are creepy.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life.
That one a little confusing. So he can visit his other
mommy.
That one's like a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
It's confusing.
That's the one that would scare me.
That one,
yeah.
that part.
My daughter had memories of being my grandmother and could recall like specific things that she said to my mom when she was my grandmother. What kind of job she had, what dog they had, how my mom got in trouble one time. And this went on for about a year. My daughter was 3 at the time.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
So I actually have 2. So my 3-year-old told me that the story of his death. He said that he was driving a red tractor and he had no seatbelt and he was going super fast, and the tractor flipped and he flew out the window and the tractor fell on top of his chest, and his chest opened up and all the blood came out and he was dead. And he said, yes. So we're talking about the importance of seatbelts, and he said, yes. And that's why it's important to wear your seatbelt, because if you don't, you die, and red tractors don't have seatbelts. So I don't even know if that's true or not. My other son, when he was 3, told me that he remembered living in a yellow house with me. We never lived in a yellow house that I know of. And that our skin was like wrinkly and old. And he said, Mom, you were my mom every single time. That one was really sweet, but the other one scared the shit out of me.
Tell me about a time your child's told you a past life story.
I'm the child in the story. My mom tells me the story all the time because she thinks it's really cool, and so do I, so I'm going to tell it. So I was like 2 or 3, and I was hanging out with my mom, and I think it was around Mother's Day, and all of a sudden I turned to her and I go, I used to be your mommy. And my mom was like, what? Honey, no. Like, no, I'm your mommy. And I was like, no, I was your mommy in a past life. Which honestly makes total sense because I feel like her mom sometimes, but that's okay. So her friends tell her to go to this psychic that can, like, see into past lives. But she doesn't tell the psychic anything that I said to her, but this is where it gets really cool. So I'm adopted at birth. I'll explain that in a second. But basically the psychic confirmed that I was her mom in a past life, but she also said that my birth mother was my adoptive mother's sister in that life. And in that life, my birth mother was the one that couldn't get pregnant, so she stole my adoptive mother's baby. And then in this life, I was given from my birth mother to my adoptive mother as a sort of, like, karmic justice, and I think it's really cool, so.
Tell me about a time your child...
That just makes me be like, bruh, if this shit is true, bruh, somebody playing with us. You get what I'm saying? Somebody playing with, like, souls, and you just, like, I ain't trying
like, if you...
keep
like,
coming back. I ain't, like... To be real, do you even want to come back afterwards? Like, hell no, bro. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I guess we'll never know until...
Yeah.
But you still won't know.
So, right. So,
or would you? I don't know.
I don't know.
Told you a past life story.
Okay, yes, I have a good one. So, my brother, who is currently 3 years old, and yes, he's 3. Oh my God, how old am I? I'm 29. There's a huge 25-year age gap. Latinos are popping kids at all times. But that's not important right now. So, a couple of months ago, my brother, out of nowhere, out of the blue, he's like, Mana, because that's how he calls me, Mana. He's like, Mana, do you remember when I used to be the big one and you were the baby and I was teaching you how to eat and how to walk and I was teaching you things? And I'm just there like... No, I don't remember that. What the hell are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you used to be the baby and I used to be the adult. And I'm just there like, what the?
What's a hill that you're willing?
Shorty, you supposed to have told us the conclusion though, like how y'all was in a correlation relation, because 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some kind of correlation that you just missing.
I think I have a story. Why every time I say something, you always be like, "That is so."
What's your story?
Well, first of all, I gotta make sure. First, I gotta confirm some stuff before I tell it. So I gotta.
What kind of stuff you gotta confirm?
I gotta ask my mom something before I tell it. So before I tell the story, I gotta confirm something. So I can't tell the story right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit before I like put it out there.
Man,
oh my gosh. Anyway.
Where your birthmark at?
I ain't really got no birthmark.
So you never been here before?
I really got the only thing I got is this on my eye, and then I got,
or blood vessel. You never know.
I just it's all right.
Mine do look like I probably died from a bullet wound.
Or a stab wound.
Where my birthmark is, it look like if that is
true and that's something.
Mine was either a bullet wound or a birthmark. I mean, a bullet wound or a stabbing to the abdominal, which is a kill shot, right? Where mine is a kill shot.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the only thing. That's mainly the only thing I got. It's just that.
All right. With that being said, hey, let us know if any of y'all have ever experienced things like this. Let us know in the comments, man. I'm here for it. I'm sure we haven't watched a video like this in a while, but I'm sure we probably gained some new subscribers who might have had some type of experience, man. So let us know.
Tell us some stories if you have some.
But as always, man, y'all know how it go. I do go by the name DJ New Kid and C.
Here, Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We are, y'all.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.